Hey, Steve, I know you said that there were a number of things, tweaks that you guys could look at, not necessarily major schematic changes, but minor things that you could tweak to kind of get the offense flowing a little more efficiently. What are two or three of those things that jump out at you that needed to get done and that you drilled down on?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that stuff is for us to keep to ourselves. So, but the simple stuff is always a part or foundational. So playing with pace, moving the ball quickly, making quick decisions, all that stuff comes into play as a part of it. And then you also have the schematic tweaks, and you put it all together, and you have little adjustments every game, and even quarter by quarter.
When you have a guy like Kevin who's been doing this for so long and he's struggling the way he is, how do you approach sort of making recommendations? Do you want to try doing this versus does he say to you, this would help me, or how does that all work?
Yeah, exactly. We discuss it. We look at ways to improve, to attack, and to come up with some things that can help. So those conversations happen. We obviously study a lot of film, and we try to submit to the players the more pertinent parts of it, so that they are as clear-headed as possible going into the game.
Coach, when talking to players this morning, they made it seem like the best way to help Kevin is to just give him more space so that not everything is congested. But on the flip side of that, to give him more space, you have to put more shooters on the floor. Is that kind of where you're at, where you kind of like maybe you want to give him space, but if you want to give him space, you have to put a shooter in?
Yeah, I mean, that's a component of it. Obviously, Joe Harris is a loss, but we still have to attack. We still have to play together. We still have to stick to our principles. I thought we saw them on display in the first half. We slowed down a lot in a number of ways in the second half. So that's a part of it as well. But I'm very hesitant to give black and white answers, because the game's not black and white. So if you create narratives that aren't really fair. So I think it's important to know that it's nuanced, and every possession is slightly different. And whether someone's in this spot or 2-3 feet over is a different read in a different scenario. So, you have to, be available to adapt and be ready for different scenarios. And when we play out of our, principles, I think we've had a lot of success.
Steve, Ben said yesterday that he had a scrimmage today. Has that happened already? And if so, do you know how he get it out of there?
Yeah, he worked out this morning with some of the guys.
You know how he came out of it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think he's fine. I don't think he had any setback or anything like that. So I think he got through the session today, and it was positive, if anything, no setback.
Steve, this is twofold. One with Goran, he's probably been as effective and as efficient as anybody in terms of getting paint touches and getting paint looks. At this point, has he earned even more playing time than he's gotten? And would you guys be even more effective with him on the ball and maybe Kai off the ball a little bit more?
Well, I think, the first part of that is he has, earned, and we want to give more minutes. At the same time, we also are cognizant of, his recent history. Didn't play for 3-4 months, had COVID, came back, played, basically one game, and then he's right into a series. So, we tried to protect him a little bit, but he's played great. He plays with pace, he plays with force, he gets himself into great positions, and he definitely has helped us a ton. So he should play more, and hopefully he will tonight.
And with Ben having gone through whatever it was it 4-on-4 today?
I think it was 3-on-3.
Okay. With Ben having gone through contact again today, I think that's his third. Is it fair to say that, assuming that nothing goes awry, that he theoretically could be in play for Monday?
I think it's possible, but I'm not sure. It's like I said before, it's not a normal return to play, having been out for 9 months and being injured as long as he has been at the back end of this. It's been about 2 months now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or more. So it's not just he got through 3 workouts and he's ready to play. There's a lot of bigger picture and bigger context to how he's feeling, how able he would be to adapt to the environment. It's a little different than playing a game that's stashed away in the middle of the regular season. So I think that there's a few factors at play here to evaluate when he's ready to play.
Coach, when talking about guys like Blake and LaMarcus, is it as simple as, when it comes to switches, they wouldn't be able, I guess, to be fast enough or quick enough with their feet to keep up with some of the guys? And how difficult is it to kind of sacrifice the other things that they do bring when that's the area that you're kind of not letting them play for?
Well, it's I think when we look at our group, defense, is something that we haven't been asked about yet in here. But that's, I think, why we've lost both games. Things we can control and contain better. And so, I think Andre and Nick are two guys that can protect the rim, move their feet, rebound, are rollers in the offense. So they kind of fit the group's needs at this moment in time. We have a lot of confidence in Blake and in LA as well, but I think that Nick and Andre fill a need.
Coach, does bringing with Ben Simmons bringing him back, is the result today have any bearing on whether you bring him back? Like, would you still bring him back if it's 3-0?
I think it's really a matter of if Ben's ready to play, whether it's 3-0 or 2-1 or whatever. I don't know that the score in the series is as big a factor as is he ready to play.
Steve, you mentioned like the idea that you guys are kind of learning together as a group on the fly here. When you think about those players that are kind of learning on the fly, is it just the players that have been acquired post deadline, or because of what was going on earlier in the season with Kyrie, would you even include Kyrie in that group that's kind of learning on the fly?
Yeah, I think it's all the above. I think we started the season with one group. We had a major trade. We've had a few guys released. We've had Kyrie's absence for much of the season. We've had Kevin being out for 5 weeks. So we've had very few pockets with everyone able to play. It's probably 10, 12 games if you add it all up. So that's like I've said all year, is part of our challenge, is trying to find some continuity amidst that. So that is an ingredient to our challenge, but that's not an excuse. We relish the opportunity. We are very close to winning game one and had a great half in game two, and we've fallen on the wrong side of it. So I think for us, it's about continuing to believe, continuing to work and compete and try to get better every day and put ourselves in a position to have a chance to win. And, if one or two things break for us, we're in a different position. So confidence has to be there in abundance. We have to feel excited by the opportunity. All right.